Hey folks, it's Frederick of the FWX podcast and Pop Music Talk. I wanted to talk about some of the things that we are currently doing. And well, as a podcaster, I think it's important that maybe we should talk about why we're doing this. And so I have two podcasts myself, and I spend a lot of time on other channels on social media, um, enjoying a lot of content and absorbing a lot of information. And the question always comes to my head, that always comes to my head is why? Why are we so invested in talking about stuff? Whether we are looking for a way to better ourselves, inform ourselves, or to create communities where people can come and join us. And those are all good things, which we definitely should keep doing. And I like doing those things too. Like I said, I have two of my own and spend a lot of time online checking stuff out, uh, inf- informing myself on, in my case, especially uh, politics and the social issues that are in our time. I guess you could call me woke if that is the thing you think, but really, I just care. I think that's the main thing why we do this kind of medium and volume. And that is one of those things I think is also very important these days is that what do we value? What are we for? What do we want to be better in the world? And those are the social issues, in fact, that we talk about. And to many people, that seems to be a bit far from them. It can be an out of their bed situation. I know you're supposed to say that thing differently, but it basically comes down to the same thing that we are not all the same. We look different, we sound different, we have different backgrounds, we believe in different religions. So we don't all consume the same things that other people do. That's why there's difference of opinions. That's why we have so many different forms of communication. Social media, you got those channels on YouTube, you got uh, television, you got smartphones where you can use so many different kind of communicative applications, not and not just social media. You have texts. You have the ability to telephone someone. We have this thing of sharing and including people, which is of course the proper thing and the good thing and the right thing to do. And of course we shouldn't stop that. But I wanted to highlight this because it's an important aspect of informing people. It's how we actually keep hope alive in this world. And I think we should definitely keep doing that because there is a lot of darkness, unfortunately. And being the light and making light and giving hope to other people is what keeps people alive. And that is why I do what I do. While also bringing in a good amount of humor and entertainment. People like to be entertained. We like stories. We like hearing from other people in a fictionalized version of things. That's what binds us. That's what makes us a community in a whole. In fact, when I am busy with my own work, with my podcast, I just try to reach as many people as possible. And that is my goal, to make life better for other people. You know, let's get a little personal. My whole life, especially when I was a kid, I was often told, like, you're special. You can do things. But that was maybe because of that my circumstances and me were quite different. And I know many people think you're a white guy living in Europe. What could be worse for you? But that's, I think, the thing is that when we're talking about those kinds of things, let's not generalize people. Let's not stigmatize as well, or let's not stereotype people. Let's just actually listen to people. Of course, to some degree, you're gonna have to cut them off when they're calling bullshit, when they are raising stupid things, when they are being crazy as fuck. And that's where you need to draw the line, I think. And unfortunately, there are even people on our side who don't fully get that. And that's also part of being human, not being able to understand or having a learning process in that understanding someone, understanding societies, humanity, it's a learning process. We're all people in living in this world and making it better, trying to make it better for ourselves and the generations to come after us. And those are the vital things, the things that we actually need to focus on and not be so isolated or cold or really in tune with our darker side. That's part of those, that's one of those story things, is that will always be in there. Good versus evil, dark versus light, strong versus weak, rich versus poor. Those are all components that we see not just in movies and TV series and animation and all of that. That is day by day that happens. And unfortunately, there is too much of that happening, which is why people like me like to stand up and make light to the people that actually deserve way more of the positive light kind of side things in our lives. And I also believe that when we work together on those things, we can win. I've talked about this in a previous video here on Substack that when we work together, we can win. And I use that in a very political kind of sense because there were uh, some of the elections in early November and in the United States, of course. And luckily, when we do come together, we can win, which is what they showed. The pro democratic side really won big in those races. You have an incredible new mayor elect in New York City. You have two new female governors in New Jersey and in Virginia. You have several other people that are have been elected. Like recently, one of the following ones that I saw that also won following the big races was someone in Seattle who won the mayorship from an incumbent, more extreme right wing person, which is amazing, which means that when you run on issues that really matter to people when it comes to affordability and the social issues and like security and all of that, it's very important to people, especially in the politics world. And my personal thing is that if you are working for the people and they see it, then you will be rewarded. That is exactly what you should be doing. That's my whole take with politics, that if you're doing the right thing, you will be rewarded for doing those things. And if you're not, GTFO, get the fuck out of here. Which is why I am wholly against what the other side is doing. The Republican MAGA side, the right wing manosphere kind of people, the people that actually wish ill on us and on us in the broadest of sense, not just in America but everywhere else. Also, I think I've said this before. The reason why I cover the United States so much here on Substack is because when in other countries around the world, we see what you do. We get those things on our news. We see that day after day. And we are both disgusted by what the extreme sides are doing, especially the right wing side, and we want better. And when you do better, that is like like people tend to say it's a tsunami in terms of political power because Democrats have the blue color, Republicans have the red color. So with that blue wave of the election, meaning that there was a bunch of sweeping victories, and you should keep it up. We got a little backlash that was also on our news here in Europe that some people decided to end the shutdown in the United States Senate. And I think I understand the reasons why they did it. But they really could have gone for a better deal because it is a shitty deal. Like, all they have is that the thing they want is going to be voted on. I believe it is this week for the files. And actually, that is the thing with what happened is that it was such a stomper with those 8 senators coming out to say that, oh, this wasn't really working what we were trying. So here's a deal from us to break up this thing. And to some extent, I understand it because now those people that have been held up with their work, like the air traffickers, can actually go to work and be given their salaries, their raise as well. And so I'm glad that happened. I mean, that those people can go back to work and get the money that they deserve, that they have worked for, and that they have been working so many over hours for. But then, luckily enough, we got a something of a solution, I would say, in that Well, not the solution from the deal, but really the pushback with the files. Like, there have been a lot of files released from, I think it's both sides at this point, the oversight committee, and then also from the other side as well, but really working very much against the man in charge of the White House and the US nowadays. Although I do have to say that with the very personal detest I have for him, I hope that this keeps working against him, because it raises so many questions about what is happening to the country and to him, because he seems to be absolutely losing it because of the files, because of everything that is happening. And I hope that continues. So I feel like we've come to a good moment to end this. So I've been Very Quatrix. I'm the host of the FWX podcast and Pop Music Talk, two podcasts that you can find on YouTube. You can find them by searching for those in the search bar, or you can look up my name, Fredrik Quatrix, to find them. Thank you for listening and watching to this video, and I hope to see you in a future video. See ya.